Good evening, students. Welcome back to our BSc third year Physics SCC class. In last lecture, we discussed about solar cooker. Today, we are going to discuss about the solar cell. What is by solar cell? Their definition, their principle, working, their advantages, disadvantages, and uses of solar cell. That we have to discuss in today's lecture. First of all, what is by solar cell? First, we will discuss its definition. A solar cell is defined as an electrical device. Solar cell is defined as an electrical device that converts light energy into electrical energy throughout the photovoltaic effect. A solar cell is defined as an electrical device that converts light energy into electrical energy throughout the photovoltaic effect. A solar cell is a basically PN junction diode. Solar cells are formed Solar cell is basically a PN junction diode. Solar cells are a form of photoelectric cell defined as a device whose electrical characteristics whose electrical characteristics such as current, voltage or resistance vary when this device exposed to a light. A individual solar cell can be combined to form a module commonly known as solar panel. The common single junction, that is silicon solar cell, can produce a maximum open circuit voltage of approximately 0.5 to 0.6 volt. A common single junction silicon solar cell can produce a maximum open circuit voltage which is approximately 0.5 to 0.6 volt by itself then isn't much, but remember these solar cells are tiny. When combined into a large solar panel, considerable amount of renewable energy can be generated. That's why it is a important renewable energy device. How these solar panels or solar cells can constructed, that we have to discuss one by one. First we will discuss its construction, then its working. A solar cell is basically a junction diode. Although its construction it is little bit different from conventional PN junction diode. Okay, it is basically junction diode. Its construction itself little bit different from a conventional PN junction diode. A very thin layer of p-type semiconductor is grown on a relatively thick n-type semiconductor. We then apply to a few finer electrodes on the top of the p-type semiconductor layers. These electrodes do not abstract light to reach the thin p-type layer. Once again, a very thin layer of p-type semiconductor is grown on a relatively thick n-type semiconductor, as we see in this figure. We then apply a few finer electrodes on the top of the p-type semiconductor layer. These electrodes do not abstract light to reach the thin p-type layer. Just below the p-type layer there is a p-n junction as seen in this diagram. We also provide a current collecting electrode at the bottom of the n-type layer, We encapsulate the entire assembly by thin glass to protect the solar cell from any mechanical shock. As we see in this diagram, it consists back electrical contact p-type and depletion layer between the n-type and p-type. There is a electrical contact, front electrical contact to the solar cell, then flow of electron or photon absorbed in the depletion zone, electron hole creation. Due to that flow of electron throughout the circuit, it carries a current. Now, how this solar cell works, that we have to understand. When light reaches the p-n junction, the light photons can easily enter in the junction throughout very thin p-type layer. The light energy in the form of photons supplies sufficient energy to the junction to create a number of electron hole pairs. When a light reaches to a p-n junction, the light photons can easily enter in the junction throughout very thin p-type layer. The light energy in the form of photons supplies sufficient energy to the junction to create a number of electron hole pairs. The incident light breaks the thermal equilibrium condition of the junction. Due to that, the free electrons in the depletion region can quickly come to the n-type side of the junction. Similarly, the holes in the depletion can quickly come to the p-type side of the junction. Once the newly created free electron come to the n-type side, cannot further cross the junction because of barrier potential of the junction. The holes in the depletion can quickly come to the p-type side of the junction. Once the newly created free electrons come to the n-type side, cannot further cross the junction because of barrier potential of the junction due to the electron hole pair combination. They form one depletion layer. It is also called as barrier potential. Similarly, the newly created holes once come to the p-type side, as we see in this figure. Similarly, the newly created holes once come to the p-type side cannot further cross the junction, become of same barrier potential of the junction, because initially it crosses that barrier. Due to that, it loses some amount of energy to cross that barrier. Once he cross that barrier, it cannot further cross the junction, become a same barrier potential of the junction. As the concentration of electron become higher in one side, that is n-type side of the junction, and the concentration of holes become a more in another side, that is the p-type side of the junction. The p-n junction will behave like a small battery cell, okay. Due to the concentration, that p-n junction will behave like a small battery cell. A voltage is set up which is known as a photo voltage. If we connect a small load across that junction, there will be tiny current flowing throughout it due to the flow of electrons which are created due to the absorption of solar radiations or photons. Okay, in this way this photo solar cell can work. Any doubt regarding construction and working? If we move forward, then we have characteristic of photovoltaic cell that we have to discuss. If we plot PV voltage along x-axis and current along y-axis, it gives a exponential decay graph. If voltage 0, current is maximum, in that case that current is called as short circuit current. Short circuit current. If voltage is maximum and current is minimum, in that case that voltage is called as open circuit voltage. Open circuit voltage. When a sharp declination occurs in VI characteristics, that point where the voltage and current is maximum, where the voltage and current is maximum, that point is called as maximum power point. That point is called as maximum power point, MPP, where current is maximum and voltage also a maximum. Okay, this is the VI characteristic of solar cell. Now, which kind of material is used in solar cell? The material which are used for the purpose of must have band gap close to the 1.5 electron volt. Commonly used materials are silicon, gallium arsenide, CDTE, CuIn, Ac2, cadmium. Okay, these are the materials which are used to manufacture a solar cell. Now, criteria for material to be used in solar cell. These materials must follow the 4 criteria, in which first one is the must have band gap from 1 electron volt to 1.8 electron volt. It must have high optical absorption. It must have high electrical conductivity. And fourth and most important, the raw material must be available in abundance and the cost of that material must be low. Okay, these are the 4 main criteria. Next, there are some advantages and disadvantages of solar cell. First advantage is that no pollution associated with it. It must last for a long time and there is no maintenance cost. These are the advantages of solar cell. There are some disadvantages also. First one is it has high cost of installation. It has low efficiency. During cloudy day, the energy cannot be produced and also at night we will not get a solar energy. These are the disadvantages of solar cell. Uses of solar generation system. It may be used to charge batteries. It is used to light meter. It is used to power calculator and wristwatches. It can be used to spacecraft to provide a electrical energy. These are the uses of a solar cell. Okay, if you have any doubt related with the construction, working, characteristics, advantages and disadvantages of solar cell, you can ask me. Okay, this is all about the solar cell. Thank you.